keep us on schedule and move along because I know everybody's busy. But it is a blessing to be here, and I thank you all for being here. I was born in Chambers County in Lafayette, Alabama. And my paternal grandparents were dairy farmers in 5 Points, Alabama, milking Jersey cows every morning. And my maternal grandparents had a funeral home in Lafayette. And, you know, for you Alabama fans, maternal, that's my mama's people. Okay? Auburn people sort of knows the guy next to you, so he knows what those words are. And so when I finished high school in West Point, Georgia, I thought I was going to go into the funeral business. You know, as I think about that sometime too, Dr. Neal, I think today I'm in the funeral business occasionally, but I finished high school in Jacksonville, Florida, and I came back to Lafayette to begin to work in the funeral business. And one thing led to another, and I ended up going to Auburn and walking on after they just hired this guy named Pat Dive my sophomore year, and they had so many players quitting that in 1982 and 1983 I got a chance to start at left offensive tackle. I walked on weighing 205 pounds. I'm still trying to get back to 205, but hadn't gotten there yet. And I finished my undergraduate degree, then I went to business school and got my MBA there at Auburn and coached the tight ends for a couple of years. And I love to share with people that I coached a tight end named Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. And I coached him in 1986 and 1987. And Gabriel, I remember in the training room of the old Coliseum, I walked in the training room one day and there's Frank sitting on the table. And he looked up at me and he said, "Coach Jacobs, I think I'm going to just play baseball." I said, "You made up your mind?" He said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You know, Reggie Jackson, he played football and baseball, and you know, you can play baseball a lot longer and not have to get hurt." And I said, "Okay, that's a good idea." So I immediately walked up the stairs to Coach Dye's office, knocked on the door, and I said, "Coach Dye," I said, "I think I'm going into administration." Because the one thing that I quickly learned is great players make great coaches. It's not the other way around. And when Frank went to baseball, I went to administration, and been in administration in some form or fashion at Auburn for 20 years, I guess it is. But it's been a blessing. Being a part of this conference has been a blessing. The thing that, before we get into the 5 goals and some slides on our facilities that I'd like to share with you, then answer any questions you have, is that, you know, Diane mentioned that we're foster parents, and I'll close with that, but you just never know the impact you can have on somebody's life. You know, I read one time that we impact about 10,000 people's lives. That could be a positive experience or a negative experience. And as leaders in this community, I just want to encourage you to be a positive influence on people. That's what we're trying to do every day. And as she mentioned, we have 5 goals in the athletics department. One is winning, and that's the #1 goal. Not at all costs, though. You know, certainly coming off a 3-9 football season, it's been a real tough year. But excited about what's going on in football, and we'll talk more about that at the end. Certainly had the opportunity to hire a new baseball coach in Sonny Galloway from Oklahoma, and then maybe the winningest softball coach ever in Clint Myers from Arizona State. So we're excited about the future of winning. We also graduate our student athletes. We had 22 of our student athletes graduate this summer. The thing that a lot of people don't hear about is that we have an award in the athletics department called the Top Tiger Award. Those are student athletes with a cumulative 3.0 over the last 3 semesters, and we had 307 of our student athletes with a 3.0. And just to remind some of you, the entering ACT score last year of Auburn freshmen was 27.1. And I know what you Auburn people are thinking that graduated from Auburn was that, because I can tell by looking at you, if it had been 27.1 when you went to school, you would have never gotten in Auburn anyway. But it's competitive. And all of our institutions are doing that. They're competing and graduating student athletes. And then we have to manage our physical affairs. For the last 20 years, we've operated in the black. We don't receive any, like all the other institutions in this league, we don't receive any state-supported assistance. You know, whatever it is we make, we earn. Selling tickets, television, ticket priority, multimedia rights, whatever it may be. And then certainly compliance. We have to stay within the rules, play within the rules. And then the game day experience, positive game day experience. What we've learned And I noticed, Tony, congratulations on the Customer Service Award. In March of 2011, we partnered with the Disney Institute because when we started noticing, like for example, the University of Florida, who has 4 times the demographics of the state of Alabama, 16 million people, they started advertising ticket sales in the Atlanta paper, and NASCAR is not selling all their tickets. You begin to be concerned about, how can we continue to do that? So we partnered with the Disney Institute to try to create a game day weekend experience. So we're doing all kind of different things on game day weekend just to encourage you to come to Auburn and spend the weekend and be a part of the game day experience. This year we're opening up a couple of new things on Fridays at lunch. Gus is having a deal at the stadium. It's a $15 lunch. You can go and hear him talk about the game. We have guest speakers come to the Alumni Association on Friday afternoon. We open up our locker room, which we had to give our manager, our head football manager, we had to give him some kind of psychological therapy when we first did that. But to have a couple of thousand people walk through the locker room, that's taboo in college athletics. But maybe some of you have had a chance to do that, and it really adds to the experience and different things we're doing each day, just trying to get you to come to campus, because we believe, like Coach Jordan is, there's not a better place to be than a football weekend on a campus, and particularly at Auburn. So